Hello Fly Nation and welcome to the Freestyle Your Life podcast, the one and only podcast inspiring you to live your authentic greatness while teaching you that less is more. I'm your host, Aneste Kaller-Zimmermann, and I'm on my mission to help you to be the hero you were meant to be and to live what you came for in life and in business. Remember, the quest we came here for is to discover our true nature, explore our potential and share it by living. Okay, my dear listeners in Fly Nation. So it's my pleasure today. I have invited Dee Coxon and she's with me and us today here. She's the author of Polish the Diamond in Your Heart. This is her new book, already receiving 5-star reviews. She's also a speaker and a business starter and empowerment coach for midlife women, just as I am, and maybe you are too. So, we have a lot in common, both of us, because we both learn things the hard way. You and also me, and we have the inner calling, and we want to inspire others and ease their way. You're gone now.
Hang on. Back.
Don't change.
Is it coming back?
No. Okay, now. Okay. Don't think, never change a running system. So, we both learned a lot of things the hard way, and that's what you're talking about in your book also. And we both believe that we women have so much unique potential that we are not bringing out on the road, and we want to make a bigger impact with it. So that's our sort of mission and goal. And you would love to ease the process of answering the calling and how to find it, what we are here for. We all know we are here for a special reason, not just jumped in here like that. And the quest in life, what I believe, is to find out our true purpose, right? And then to bring it into the world, to align with it and to live it, and by living it, bringing it into the world like we do here. And then the best thing would be to leverage it, right? So what we do with online products and everything, so we can provide it to a wider range of people. Not just one-on-one, it's just one participating, but being online like that, so many people can just jump in and listen and be inspired on the podcast here even for free. So that's our goal. And so glad you are here with us today, Dee. So please share a little bit with us. How did you get the idea to write that book, and why did you write it? What was the motivation and the thinking behind it?
Okay. First of all, it's wonderful to be here, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I wanted to say that first.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. The idea behind the book. Okay, so in another life, I'd been a hairdresser and beauty therapist for 30 years. I was self-employed.
Yes.
18 years old, and I own my own salon.
Could you speak a little bit up? Could you speak a little bit louder? Because of the...
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need to shout, but just a little bit.
Okay. And so after having my own businesses for 30 years and looking after women's hair and makeup, so very much in an aesthetic field, what I discovered very early on was I enjoyed helping them more with their personal problems and other issues than I did with the hair and makeup. But I was in that environment of women, so I learned so much from them. It was a wonderful place for me to learn what I needed to learn about them. And as the years went by, I helped women with a lot of issues, from whether it was preparing a CV for work to escaping domestic violence, whether it was a discussion about their marriage, whatever. But it became more and more about them as a woman than it was about the hair and makeup. So I decided that I wanted to go further with it. So when I was 50, I decided on a career change to pursue that, okay? And I did my master's degree at 50, so having a bit of research behind me, I thought, how hard can it be to set up this new business, take it online? Because it's important to say that the reason I wanted to go online was because, having sort of half my life behind me, I thought, okay, I haven't got the 20 or 30 years you would normally have of a career.
Yes.
To get
Yeah.
out there, yeah. So what I'll do is, if I take it online, I can go one to many and get the message out there quicker and in a global way. Plus, I was very interested in learning about the online world. So I went off to learn about the world of online business. And I thought, how hard can it be?
Oh, it can actually, because I did exactly the same. I can assure it can be hard.
Absolute nightmare, because you know, you learn one piece of information informs the next, and so you just keep going down endless rabbit holes to find the next piece and the next piece. And it's not until you're in there and you've done the work and you've spent the time, and then you realize, I don't even need that for my business. So I went around the world to learn everything that I didn't need. And at the end of that, I discovered that of the 100% I'd learned, I'd only ever need 20% of all of that to operate my business online. And so I sifted out the excess, drilled it all down, and came up with a lean, mean startup machine, if you like, where I wanted to teach that 20%, which I class as a working knowledge, because what I realized, you don't need a business degree, you don't need everything else, you just need what you need to make it work. And so, and then the other thing was, when I decided to write the book, I thought, if I can prevent one woman from going on the I was going to say wasted journey. It wasn't wasted, but what a lot of wasted time and money, inadvertently wasted, because, you know, it's an old cliche, when you don't know what you don't know what mistakes you're making. And when you continue to work on your own, you don't know how to put that mistake right. So you keep making one mistake after the other. What you end up with is an absolute arsenal of information, which means you know so much, but again, what a waste, because you're not going to use it in your business. You'll just be able to say, I know that, or I can do that. But if you're not going to use it, why take all of that time? So what it took me 3 years to learn, at the end of that, I decided I had to have a coach to really nail this and shape it into what I wanted it to be. And to my horror, I hired a coach, and in 3 short months, at the cost of £1,000, I got where I needed to be, which up to then had taken me 3 years to get that far. So there was the massive lesson in getting help from people more experienced than yourself. That said, having gone on the journey and learned everything I'd learned, I also realized it was as important for other women to know that what not to do was as valuable, if not more valuable, than knowing what to do. So I decided that I would write it all down in a book. And then I was faced with a personal situation. I like to call it being hijacked by the family. I was in a position where I couldn't be very visible for 2 years. There wasn't very much I could do. I committed to a family emergency, which meant I wasn't going to be able to get out there and do what I wanted. So I thought, well, I'm not going to waste it. I'll write the book. You know, I'll write it all. If I can't be out there and I can't be networking and I can't be, you know, doing what I want to do, I won't waste that hiatus. I'll make the best and write it all down, because I thought, you know, if I can stop other women from making the mistake I made, and then showing them the shortcut to navigate the online startup. Because it's a maze, you know. I say shortcut, I suppose I mean smart cut, because you're not ducking out from important things, you're just honing down and just picking from that what you actually need, as opposed to what you think you need, and they're two entirely different things. And so that was why I wrote the book.
So glad you bring all that up, Dee, because, well, I'm tuning in and we don't know each other personally. So you're in the United Kingdom, I'm in Germany actually here, but I just tuned in and I felt so aligned with you, right? And then I did some researching why this comes. So I'm very highly sensitive and empathic. So I don't think it, I just feel it, right? And then I did the researching how this comes, and this was just a small pick of the trailer of your book that I saw. And then I dig deeper and to find out what you're doing and everything. And then I found out we are so, we have a real similar path we went on to, and all the mistakes and all the learnings, but I believe the mistakes are not, they contribute life, right?
Absolutely.
So we shouldn't punish them, or, well, they are there for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason. So afterwards I found out why I came up to you, and why I decided to dig deeper and said, well, I need to find out more about her. And that's why actually we are here today. And we both learn things the hard way, and really want to ease the process. So I'm a fan of shortcuts, because going through everything, it takes so long, right? And we both went through the whole process at the same age. And I'm just writing my book also, should be coming.
Oh, congratulations!
At the end of the year, and the online summit is coming up, and I'm having the podcast here, so I'm quite busy in every corner here. But it's much easier and less stressful to do it if you can follow a system, right? That is proven, not only being read somewhere, but somebody like us living it, and we did it before, so that's why we know this works out and this doesn't, right? And so it's important to know, of course, what we want in life, but also what we don't want. And so I, for my case, I made so many compromises all my life, right? I didn't show up in an authentic way, in the meaning of, as I sense, if I say no, I sense the other person or feeling not too happy about it. And that's why I never said no. But of course, this doesn't work out because you run empty, right? And
absolutely
empty, you can't give. And I had two companies, two sons, and being a single mom, this was the path to nowhere, right? To burnout. And but that's why I said, well, we need to freestyle our life and become authentic, right? Not wearing the mask, what somebody might think or whatever. And I totally committed to that. That's why it's called Freestyle Your Life. So get rid of whatever it is that doesn't work for you. Might be different for you than for me, because we are all different. But to have a blueprint how to do it, and how to start, and how to manage to come through, and how to really implement it is much, much, much easier, right? And you had the coaches, and I'm still with so many coaches. I had so many coaches in my life, and I did all the train the trainer and everything. So I have all the certificates, but well, nobody really does want to, and I studied economics, so I'm with certificates, I can get the house out of it, right? But that is not what in life is needed, right? So people, and especially women, and I have this, so I'm my own avatar, if you want to name it like that, right? So
you mentioned something very interesting there when you talk about a blueprint. Okay, now what I absolutely believe in, what I advocate, and what I do in my business is, for me, there is no blueprint, because every woman is unique. So what I offer is a you print, because there is only one of you. No one else on this planet can do what you do in the way that you do it. So when I help women to create their business based around their story and the life they've lived so far, that's their life. It isn't anybody else's. So there isn't a blueprint in that obvious way, but I love to call a you print, because it is for you, and it is unique.
That is fantastic. Can I steal it?
Yes, as long as you credit me with it.
No, but if we name it blueprint, of course everybody knows what we're talking about. But
yes.
You're so exactly right. Normally it should be named blueprint, right? Because we are, what we can do is, out of our mistakes and experience and what we went through in our life, and well, we mentioned we learned things the hard way, so we've been through everything. We've been exactly in those shoes, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So of course we know how it is to be there. That's why I always say get help from the outside, because a coach from the outside has another perspective than if you are inside and you don't know where to go, right? And everything is confusing. But the other thing is, it's so important to work with somebody who has done it, who has lived it, who has walked these shoes, right? And not from theory, but like we did, trial and error, right? and this takes a lot of time, of course, in that we spent with other coaches, and money and real energy and everything, right? So lifetime. So that's what we can ease in the U-print, right? For midlife women in transition, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yes. And of course they have the sort of shortcut, and they can follow it, but it's still, for everybody is different, right? But
absolutely.
They have an outline, so to say, like in the book, right? We have the outline, and they know where to start and where to go on their journey. So I transformed myself over and over. I nearly died, and I had to transform. And that's why I came up and said, no, I was facing death already, and now for me it's the last chance to really cut off everything and let go. That's obviously not good for me. So everybody is reacting in a different way. I'm reacting with symptoms, right? So but it's not easy, right? You're in situations, and you know it's not good for you, but you cannot just jump away. It might be a business partner or my ex-husband. I have 2 kids with him, so it's not like you make up your mind and you separate that easily, right? So that's hard to let things or persons or situations go. But if it's affecting your life that dramatically, like it did in my case, there is just no way to go on.
Yeah, I think something very important there. People talk about a midlife crisis, but I describe it as midlife clarity, because I haven't come across a woman who woke up one day and decided she wanted to have a new career. But I've come across lots of women who woke up one day and made a decision about what they were going to do with the rest of their life. But that decision comes from something that had been harbored for a long time. it had
Yes.
been yearned for a long time. It had
Yeah.
been in there, in the soul,
Yeah.
it weighed the soul for a long time because
Yeah.
they knew there was something else waiting for them. And so, certainly with the women I work with, I never tried to persuade a woman to have a business or make a decision on it. When they come to me, they already have an idea in mind. They just don't know what to do with next steps. So obviously I guide them on that and shape them on what to do. And for a lot of women as well, particularly corporate women, when they've been used to, working for large organizations or, being very skilled in other areas, they can find it difficult to make the transition. And this is what's difficult for them. When they're experts in one area, they assume they should be an expert in every area. But this is the thing. When you're a beginner in anything new, when you take something on at entry level and you have a change, whether you like it or not, no matter how skilled you are in other areas, you're a beginner in that new field.
Right.
So it's best to embrace that and,
Yeah.
look at it that, yes, it's something new. So I have a lot of skills. I'm very good at A, B, and C, but I don't know how to do E, F, and G. So I need to find someone who can help me with that. And there's no shame in being a beginner. And the great news is being a beginner is temporary.
Yeah.
And you can move on from that very quickly.
Yeah.
And you said something really important about selecting the right person. And I heard a great example a long time ago. Someone said to me, never buy a silk shirt from a naked man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's brilliant because, well, where is the evidence on a naked man that it's a good shirt? So it was really good what you mentioned before, that, turning to someone who's made the mistakes, who's been there and done that and worked through it. Well, that's the best route for anyone to take when they're learning something new at entry level. Go with someone who's been there, whoever that is. Make sure you get help from the right person, and don't stay on your own, because not only is it very lonely, but as I said earlier, when you're working by yourself, if you make a mistake, you don't know what you've done wrong. So it's going to take you months again to work it all out. Where you
need the feedback.
You could have these really succinct and fast answers, which, apart from it saves your sanity, it's a lot less expensive to work with someone who can help you avoid all of because most of the mistakes are very costly. If not services, definitely in time. I do a calculation in my book, and over a 3-year period, working in 8-hour blocks, okay, at a very conservative rate, because it's a while ago, if you say that it was £10 per hour, over 3 years, I inadvertently wasted £46,000 by not getting help. And the help I needed costed me £1,000. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it? But I didn't get that at the time. Plus, I was afraid of being scammed. I was afraid of being ripped off. I didn't know who to trust. And I'm an intelligent woman. I thought I can work this out for myself, which I did.
Yeah, me too first.
But there was a much easier way to do it, and I now know that. So it's important for me that other women know there is a better way to achieve.
Yeah, I totally agree. First, there should be some sympathy, right, to work together. That eases the process of working together very much. And well, you don't need to live in the same village, not even country, because this is really the benefit of the internet, right? So we are here like you would be in the other office over there, right?
Freestyling your life.
Yeah. So that's what I love about the internet, and to really to be later on. I have another girl from Hawaii, so she just wrote me, I'm going to sleep now, and because we have 12 hours time difference.
Yes.
So it will be late in the evening for me, but this will be in the morning for her.
Right.
And just a couple of time ago, I had somebody from Auckland, which is 14 hours time difference. So for
Wow.
him, it's another day. And that's sometimes it's not easy to find a time which could be
Which
possible
works.
for both of
Yeah.
us. But on the other side, yeah, he was sitting on the other end of the world, right? And we were still here together and communicating. That's brilliant.
Yes. Actually, something that I've done for the first time is I've dedicated the month of June to doing some offline networking. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because as much as it's wonderful being online and it's given me the lifestyle and the freedom that I want, that for me there's nothing like, you know, eye to eye, face to face, and, you know, being present in another room with another woman to do the work. That's something that I enjoy doing. So I've gone offline to do some networking, and it's
Mm-hmm.
been absolutely wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
A different way of working, just adding another string to my bow, getting out there. And funnily enough, the most invitations I've had are from universities, to speak at universities, to speak to women there, who are doing MBAs and various business things. And I never thought about the women there would be wanting what I have to offer. But some of them are going back to uni and doing this are midlife women. And so it's all very academic, and it's all, you know, business plans and bottom lines, where I'm more from a heart-centered point of view. And so
Yes.
I have a thing that, how to create a heart-centered plan for your business. And instead of it being about the bottom line, it's about you, it's about the woman as the self-author, why you want the things you want, you know, what's stopping you from getting them, and what steps are you going to take to achieve it, which is completely
Exactly.
different to a traditional business plan. But for me, equally, if not more important, because if you haven't sorted out, first of all, what you want in here, what you want the money for, what are you going to do with it? For me, that's a better place to start, because it informs everything else. And when I started this journey, one of the reasons I didn't get help was because when I made initial inquiries, everything was really generic, you know, really generic from the business world. Nobody seemed to understand me. Nobody was interested in my story. And they sort of looked at me as if to say, I'm not really sure what you mean, you know?
Really? Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it's and that we're talking a few years ago now. It's that kind of help is more accessible now, but I think
Yeah.
still not as accessible as the traditional stuff. So
Yeah.
it's important for us as women, you know, however many women want to take this message online, please do it, because there aren't enough of us about,
Yeah.
is my opinion.
Yeah, totally
Yeah.
agree, Dee. And so many women in transition at this round of age of around 50 are, well, they were nurturing their family the whole life, right? So if it's like in my case, I have two adult sons with 19 and 21, and one even living in Canada. And well, I'm divorced for a long time now, but yeah, I'm sort of free now, right? My sons are grown up, they're having their own life, and I can nurture myself, right? And my business and my clients and everything. So that's a great thing. And then to really dig deep, what are we here to do, right?
Yes.
Because I lost myself in all that, so many things to do.
Yes. And I think for me as well, I'm a little bit further forward than you in terms of what I call the filling in the middle of life sandwich, in that I have older caring responsibilities as well as younger caring responsibilities, because I have two young grandchildren, and my father is 84. He's mega fit, he's wonderful, but having said that, in a way, I've got more responsibilities than ever now. However, designing a business to work around that lifestyle, so that I can, you know, if I need to be available for something else, there's no one I have to ask for. I can arrange that. And then, but on the other side of that, before I had it all together, when my mother was ill before she died, and I nursed her until she died, Obviously, nothing was getting done because I was devoting the time to my mother, which I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever. But I think as a midlife woman and beyond, it's worth thinking about what responsibilities are going to come your way and how you can design your life about fitting those things in a good way and from your heart, because there is some there's expectation there. There's a level of duty and care that's expected as well for older and younger responsibilities, and there is a terrific amount of pressure placed on us. So if you can design a business that allows you to freestyle your life, you know, in a way that you can be with those you want to be available for those who need you, whether it be hospital appointments, school plays, or whatever. It's a great time to do it, and because, you know, there's a lot of pressure on us to support and help family members. I call it being hijacked by the family. I have elder daughter syndrome as well, because I'm the oldest daughter, so, you know, I wear it as a badge of honor, but I made myself the glue in my family a long time ago. And I'm glad I did that then. But there are days now where I think, oh God, you know, I wish I could let that go somewhat. But by doing what I do, it means it allows me to be where I need to be when it matters, but then be where I want to be for the rest of the time.
Right, that's so wonderful, and me too. I totally enjoy I love to travel, and I enjoy the time and location freedom I have here.
Yes.
And so just in an hour, my son from Canada is coming in for 72 hours because I couldn't get off. He was supposed to come for 2 weeks, but he didn't get off from work, and so he changed some duties there. Just flew in from Vancouver, which is a pretty long way. And as my younger son has the party for the the certificate of getting out of school, right? So he's finished with his school examinations there, and so, well, they will be both there. This will be on Wednesday.
Wow.
If I was at work, I couldn't just get off right here, right? So after we finish, and we need to finish shortly, but there is so many flexibility, and what I love about it is I really come to speak with so many interesting people, right? Because of course I invite interesting people for inspiration for my listeners, right? Who I do the research up front, who really have to share something that is important, like you do, or others apply. But I always check if this is really for my listeners. So this is mostly women or men sort of that age, right? Who are maybe restarting like I did or you did. And so this doesn't have to be only solopreneurs, but mostly, right? So that's why I'm trying to cover a big range. I'm not only teaching them or having experts here for visibility and whatever, but also because that is needed, right? If we don't get visible, we don't get heard, and nobody knows.
That's right.
The brilliance we have. That's why we need to show up, right?
Of course,
and stand up and say our word, and that's so crucial.
And for me, obviously you serve a wider audience than I do. I'm very specifically niched to midlife women, but there's a good reason behind that. To do what I do, you know, I work and live, I'm fortunate enough to work and live from my zone of genius. Now, I don't know if you know this, but to do your zone of genius calculation, you mix your top talent, which in my case is empathy, with your purpose. And my purpose is to inspire midlife women to go beyond their known capabilities, okay? So I stay there with those women, and I also also stay, even though I'm not a beginner, I stay in the beginner's world because this is it for me, okay? This is where dreams are shared, their voices are heard, and where something wonderful begins to emerge. And that's the space I stay in, because for me, that's where the magic happens. Because some of these women, they may not have been listened to, but it may be that they never had the courage to say out loud what it was they wanted. And
Right.
what fascinates me is, for most of these women, they already know they have the skills, or some of them. They already have the desire. They've got everything they need to do it. But some women just need permission. They just need someone else to say to them, yes, you can. And this is how you can move this forward. And you can see the light bulbs going off, because they know in their heart, they know in their soul, they've got it. They just want somebody else supportive to say,
Right.
come on, I'll handhold you through it. You can do this. This is how we start. And sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, that was a brilliant word on that, Dee. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's just like that, and well, we have to really step in our brilliance and into our potential, and that's why I just love the title, Polish the diamond in your heart, right? Because we are already diamonds.
Yes, it's there.
Many great expertise and potential and talents. And I think, well, yeah, now it's time to put it out there, right? To stand up and be visible.
And remove those layers that have kept your diamond buried.
That's it.
Let the sparkle come through. Yes.
Right. Because what I found out is there is a enormous part is self-sabotaging. Right?
Oh, yes.
It's not somebody else holding us back, but it's ourselves, because of negative expectations or fears or whatever, doubts, and I cannot do it, and I'm not the whole story of not being worthy enough and everything, right? Yes. And that's not somebody from outside trying to hold us back. That's ourselves, right?
Because it takes a lot of courage as well. Let's be honest.
Yes, it does. Jesus.
Yeah, you have to be brave. And there are lots of bad days where, as you rightly say, can I do this? And, is someone going to criticize me? Am I not good enough? And, there's not a week goes by where I still don't have those thoughts. But again, I think it can also be a generational thing. I'm a tail-end baby boomer. So part of it is from that. Part of it is from having strict parents. But fortunately, there's a part of me that, even though I get scared, and I used to have a lot of days where I thought, oh, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to be laughed at. Fortunately, that's always been overtaken by my desire to see. I'm very tenacious, and I always get to the end goal, So, it may have taken me a little bit longer, but by pushing through and having the courage, I did it. And I want so many other women to do the same thing, because they don't need you or I to tell them they can do it. They know. They're probably listening to this going, oh my God, that's me. I can do that. That's exactly like me. And I hope they are thinking that, because they're right. That it is there. They can already feel it. They've already got it. And with the right help, one conversation is all it takes to change your life. Conversation with the right person will change it even faster and for the better.
Right, and that's so wonderful, and that's totally my mission and my motivation doing this here, and bringing all the experts, but not only experts, but also people that have survived trauma and bad situations, right? Because for my consideration, they are expert also. They don't have a certificate. I'm not asking for any certificate here.
No.
I want the life proven transformation here. Right? That's what I share, and I love to share it in examples, right? So and
because this, we are amazing creatures.
And this is of course is live being lived life, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is not from a book, and
No.
because I believe in examples, well, you can really feed yourself into it, right? And rely and yeah, find out if
Yeah.
the other person would be right for you, right?
And I think having that shared experience, because what I say, the women I speak to, I would never presume we've had the same life, because that would be very rude of me. But I can guarantee that we will have had at least a version of each other's life. And it's that shared experience. You know, when I'm with someone and after 10 minutes, I see her shoulders drop and I see her relax and I see a beat across her face that says, thank God she gets me. And that's what I love. You know, that's when you feel it. That's when, you know, you might have some work to do, but that deep connection, because it's a high trust relationship.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
to have that connection is lovely. It's just really good.
So what I really find out here is with the people and experts I'm interviewing here is that what we do now in the middle of our life, so we really have time for more time freedom now as the kids are growing up, and of course we experience, we lived life, so we know ourselves much better, and if we are brave enough to dig deep, we will find out what feels good, what makes us happy, what doesn't. And if we follow this path, right? So I'm not a fan of getting better at the things we fail. So I'm a fan of doing more of what is brilliant and makes us happy, right?
Yeah.
So I have the emphasis on that, and that's amazing what can come out of it, right?
Yeah.
For example, with the talent and the potential of being such an empath.
Yes.
I denied that and rejected that for so long.
Wow.
Because it was the key for me to being so overwhelmed, right? So I was feeling, of course, my feelings, but everybody around too. And that was just killing me. That was too much, right? So
I think I must be very lucky then, because it didn't affect me in the same way as it affects you. It served me really well to be able to feel everything before I can see it. But I didn't have the exhaustion and the overwhelm that you did. It was more helped me with the intuition, you know. And my husband used to say, how do you know that before anyone's even asked a question? And I'd say, well, I can just see it. I can see it in their body language. I can see it in their eyes. So I've been very fortunate in that way. I haven't had the same issues as you to deal with.
So that's the negative part, and that's why, of course, I just don't want it to have it in this big extension like it was. But of course, what is there, right?
Yes.
And the more we we try to reject it, the more we focus on it, right?
Yes.
So, well, yes, I accepted it as being a really big and great gift, but I had to take it from another side, right? So it serves me now, but before it served me, but on the other hand, it overwhelmed me.
Yes.
And I had to find a solution for myself to cope with it.
And so now you have the balance.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the things we struggled before are the things we really become expert on, as we do so many studies and research and whatever first for ourselves, right? And then we become the expert in it.
Wow.
So wonderful. So we are nearly at the end. Did we mention everything you wanted to say? I will
Yes,
put all the show notes, everything. Don't worry
yes.
for that.
The only thing I would add, if this is okay with you, I have a free download as a gift that your audience are welcome to have, if that's
Yeah.
okay with you. It's just over at my website, deecoxon.com, and it's a 10-page free resource, how to create a heart-centered plan for your business.
Yeah,
And
I think I already got it because you
okay,
mentioned it
right.
in the chat for me. I mentioned it already on the show notes.
Okay, and that's great. I would just like your listeners, if they wanted it, to have that, because it is a very good and a very easy jumping off point.
Yeah,
So that would be my gift.
yeah, that's wonderful. So thanks so much for being here, Dee.
And thank you. It's been wonderful, and thank you for the opportunity. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. And
Okay.
maybe you just stay for another second.
Yes.
And so, Fly Nation, I hope this was another inspiration for you on how to break free and how to reinvent your life. And
thanks for listening in. I hope you got new inspiration to seek help and surrender to love no matter what situation you're in. Hopefully you could take away that transformation is possible. By getting the right support, you can embrace life joyfully and enjoy your life on your own authentic terms. Please rate and review the Freestyle Your Life podcast on freestyle-your-life.com/podcast if you like today's talk, and make sure you qualify for the amazing I Love to Fly podcast giveaway by subscribing and referring 3 friends to the Freestyle Your Life podcast. All experts and myself are happy to assist and support you. Just reach out to us. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to tune in next Thursday and listen in to your next inspiration on how to freestyle your life. You will learn another priceless shortcut on how to break free and restyle your life on your own authentic terms. Becoming authentically you will ease your life and business. Remember, Fly Nation, break free and fly. Looking forward to talk to you next Thursday. Bye.